Hey and welcome to the channel, welcome back if you've been here before. So in this reading today we're going to be looking into what is going on for that person who's on your mind. Their actions and behaviour, it might seem off at the moment to you, it doesn't make sense, or you just like a better understanding of where they're at and what is going on for them, then this reading could be useful for you. We're going to use the cards to tap into the energies to gain insight into the situation and circumstances and unravel some mysteries. So as usual, we're going to be doing a pick a card reading. So we have our 3 piles here, each with their own unique energy and message. Group number 1, we have the 2 of Swords. Group number 2, we have the 3 of Wands. Group number 3, we have the 2 of Wands. Take a moment to connect with your intuition and choose the pile that resonates with you most. Trust that the cards you pick hold the answers you seek, and you'll find the link to your reading in the description box below. Wishing you love and light on your journey. Hey group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with the first card that you were drawn to, which is the 2 of Swords. And this describes the current situation for this person who's on your mind. And with the 2 of Swords, what this talks about is being faced at a crossroads. So some kind of decision is what they're being faced with at the moment. And what I can see with this card is that it feels quite uncomfortable for them. It feels difficult, and we can see this frog here who is perched, clinging in a way to this sword. So it could be a decision that they don't want to make but feel like they have to. They're being sort of forced to make a decision. Neither option maybe feels right, 100% right to them, or they are also uncertain, as in they don't know what decision to make, what is the right path. We've got the moon in this image as well, which talks about them feeling kind of in the dark themselves, like you might, about why they're behaving this way. And I think maybe why their behaviour, which I spoke to in the introduction, might feel off, or that something feels out of character in some ways about how they're behaving. The energy is shifted, and it's because behind the scenes that they're struggling internally with this decision that they're having to make. You might actually be aware that they're making a decision, but either way, this is what's driving it. I can also see in this image what seems to be, it almost looks like there's faces here. There is hands coming out reaching out of the water. And what I feel like this represents is that there are other people who are influencing them. You could also be part of these people who are influencing them. But it feels like more than just one other person. There feels to be a few people who have got their skin in the game, so to speak, and want to have their influence and their say. And this is sort of adding to the confusion and uncomfortableness for this person who's on your mind. Now the next card we have is the Queen of Pentacles, and this is what can you do in this situation to influence it, to help it, to sort of ease the difficulties that you or both of you might be experiencing. And the Queen of Pentacles has a very grounded energy, so it's about, I feel like this message comes that it's encouraging you to be a stable energy and a stable force in this circumstance. The Queen of Pentacles has beautiful energy. They are very accomplished, they are grounded, they are stable, consistent, abundant as well. This can sometimes also, in a practical sense, be about being financially stable. For some of you, that could be part of this picture, part of this story. But I think the main message is it's about you offer to them stability and security, but in a beautiful way. I don't want you to think that in any sense a kind of boring energy. It's a very warm, loving, beautiful, abundant, positive energy as well. Very nurturing as well, because the Queen of Pentacles is represented by earth signs, so they are very good at nurturing and just really being someone who this person feels like they feel like that they can lean on you, and they really need that at this time. And in some ways I see their energy is more this rabbit here who is looking up to you. So maybe in some ways it's almost like you feel larger than life to them. Could be an element of if they feel slightly intimidated for some of you, and maybe they're questioning if they're up to scratch of your level. But with it being in the position of what can you do, I feel like it's just about maintaining that stability, that consistent energy that you seem to bring to their life, and a really positive force as well that you represent for them, and you are that positive force for them in their life. Now, the card number 3, this is what you can't change. Now, interestingly, this is the Empress, which is, it's almost like an extension of the Queen of Pentacles. It's the Empress is the major arcana. It's almost like an elevated version of the Queen of Pentacles, in the sense it represents many of the same things about nurturing and loving energies. And what comes with this message, I think, is that you can't make this decision for them. Like you can't, you can only support them, is what I'm hearing. And this Empress energy, this stable, loving Empress energy, can't really protect them fully from this kind of difficult situation. So maybe don't try to save them. Don't try to maybe take over the situation or solve this decision or problem for them. Instead, just be there for them as best you can and support them. But they really need to, I feel like they really need to go through this on their own, and there is a lesson in there for them. And it really needs to be on them, so when they're on the other side of this decision, which they will, they will eventually come to it, and they will make a decision that they know that they've done it on their own, and that feels very important, and that they haven't made this decision because of these other voices and influences, because further down the line that could cause some resentment or blame, like misplaced blame, that they may come back and say that, I did this for you, or, something along those lines. This is for some of you. So it's that fine balance. It's almost like what you can offer, and the solution, the influence that you can have, is also double-sided, in the sense of that I feel like you would like to kind of fix this for them, but you can't this time. You can certainly help and support them, but they do need to do this on their own. Now in the next card we have Strength, and this is in the placement. So what is the lesson in all of this? And this is very clear message about, I think, about which I've touched on before, and the links in the sense of what this person needs to go through this on their own is because of their inner strength, which it will help them tap into, and they will come out of this stronger. And I actually feel very much this message that both of you will come out stronger together. So this union, this connection, whatever kind of relationship dynamic it is that you have, it will come out stronger on the other side by allowing them to do this, to go through this really. Stand on their own 2 feet, make that decision. So if there's any fear of kind of loss of connection that you might have through, maybe you're scared that one route will take them away, if they make one decision it will take them away from you, And I actually feel like that either way, that this card is very reassuring in saying that you will have a stronger connection on the other side of this. And it's about trust as well on your part, and trust, I think, of them, of trust in themselves, but also trust in the connection that you'll get through this. So that's a really beautiful message to come from this, that I feel like that whatever happens, whatever the outcome, you will both come out of this stronger when I see the Strength card. And then finally we have the Ten of Cups, and this is the likely outcome. So what a beautiful card to see at the end of the reading, group number 1. This is, it's almost, to me, it says like a happy ending. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. These tense energies have dissipated. I feel like that the things, it's almost like a life was going on, and this decision, this crossroads sort of broke, almost froze this world that's going on that we see here in a snapshot, and it couldn't move on until this was worked out, until this sort of uncomfortable situation was resolved. And then once it is, which it will be, we can see if you can, this person can tap into their inner strength, then it's like things will resume, and it's like the movie can begin again. And there seems to be like friends that are here as well, some kind of community, which may be that you are both part of. It could be friends, family who surround you. These faces again that are echoing through, so these voices that were trying to influence this person, they are sort of peaceful again. It feels less ominous when we see these faces here, but now they seem to be smiling to me, and it's like things can resume and continue as normal. So the overall a really positive reading for you, group number 1. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please leave a comment in the section down below, give me a like and subscribe for all future readings. But wishing you all the best with this situation and circumstance. Love and light. Hey group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So we'll start off with the first card that you were initially drawn to, which is the Three of Wands. And this represents where your person is currently at and their situation. And what I see with this card, I mean, it's a really beautiful card actually, with a lot of magic and growth in it. And the Three of Wands is all about expansion. So I see that your person is currently wanting to expand their horizons. So they're looking to the future, and they're looking, what I feel is looking for change. They're looking to spread their wings. They feel inspired and fired up by something. So something has occurred in their life, or they've come to a place, I feel like, where they want more in some ways. So this could be in any area of their life, in the sense that they might be feeling more ambitious, travel, or a spiritual journey even. But what I do see is this is also you in the picture. So there is this connection that you have. So whatever the dynamic that it is between you, that they are including you in this expansion. So if there's any kind of fear that you would, if this expanded period for them means that you won't be in the picture anymore, or if it means leaving in some ways, I feel like that they very much still have this strong connection with you, and that even if this has maybe temporarily sort of distracted them, or they feel to be focused very much on, you know, this expansion, whatever that involves, kind of for them and for you really. I feel very much though that they see you being part of their journey in the long term, and part of this expansive period, like in a way they want to take you with them. So for some of you who may be feeling insecure that you're going to be left behind in some ways by this shift in energy, I feel like this is a very reassuring and important message to convey to you that you are on their minds and on their hearts still and part of these plans. Now in the next card that we have, and this is in the placement of what can you do, and this is, we have the Ten of Wands. And what this card tells me is that up to this point of where you find yourself now, it feels like there's been some struggles and difficulties for you in this union. So this could be outside influences, challenges that have come up, and it has maybe often felt like challenge after challenge after challenge. You see these two salmons who are fighting to go upstream. So this could have been between you two, or it could be, it feels almost more like external events in a way that have sort of crashed down on you, but it's felt like wave after wave that has come, and it's just been a battle and a struggle. But the Ten of Wands is about finally being able to put down some burdens and close out that chapter. So this being important in the placement of what can you do, so to be intentional about that and to be aware in some ways about closing a chapter and leaving that behind, leaving those struggles behind, and not getting sucked back or not wasting energy if you can on thinking and feeling about the struggle and being intentional about. I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, it is over and it is time. You have made it to this sort of checkpoint, this like landmark in a way, and it's okay to leave that behind, close out that chapter together. And things will begin to get easier. So like I say, just to be intentional about that, and maybe that's what your person is also feeling with this expansion. That would make sense, that they're aware that and they're ready to close out these burdens and difficulties that you've both been through, and now want to look to the future and look forward. And I feel like Spirit is encouraging you to do this together really, and for you to also maybe do the same. You might not be in that kind of energy placement yet, but maybe that's something that you could look at and consider if you feel like that's also something that you're able to do now, to at least close out a chapter, if not begin to look to the future and make plans. Now in the next position we have what can't you change, and this is the Tower. And this feels like the Tower is all about events happening that really shake a situation out and get rid of people, places and things that no longer serve you. And it can be quite shocking, it can be quite abrupt. But what I feel like with this message is that we all have events like this in our life, of unexpected situations, unexpected changes, unexpected losses, and what you can't do is prevent that from happening at some point. So maybe there's an element of fear that you were carrying around this situation with them, and I feel like what the message is that you can't stop that from happening. So maybe your person, let's say, is looking to the future. Maybe you're fearful of looking to the future because of the difficulties that you've been through. And this, with the Tower message, I feel like it's about change the things that you can and let go of the things that you can't, is the message that I'm hearing. So being anxious and worrying, etc., or trying to control a situation could be on things that you can't really control the outcome of, is a waste of energy. And of course it's easier to say than do a lot of the time, but to work on surrendering is what I'm hearing, is surrendering to that kind of inevitability in that aspect of life in some respects. Now, what is the lesson in this? So we have temperance, which is all about balance. It's about being patient. It's about being calm. So I feel like there's nothing really to worry or fear about what this person in your life, I think, is doing that is maybe seems a mystery to you and could have caused some anxieties. And maybe a fearful element for you is that things will revert back to the past. I don't feel like that's what's happening. And I feel like that the advice is to remain calm and to wait it out and be patient. Like, let this person look into these future ideas and opportunities. Go with them to look into it as well if you feel inspired, or go into your own future ideas and inspirations of paths and new things that you'd like to pursue. And then I feel like we can see this magic that is sort of echoed throughout the cards here, that this connection will remain. Like I say, I feel like that this person is very much including you in their future, and that they will come back to you if they feel distant. I feel like they will return to you with information, with ideas, maybe with changes that they have made, ready to make changes that they have made in their life. And for you, it's about to stay balanced and to in some ways go with the flow as well, as much as you can. We see a cup that is overflowing here, but what I'm drawn to and I see is the water flowing in this picture, balancing and nurturing your own emotions, and in some ways waiting for this particular phase to pass. And it actually feels like a positive thing that is happening, even if it might feel challenging. It's about a positive expansion and positive growth. Because what we see in the outcome is, interestingly, is the Hermit, which is about, what pops out to me and the word that I hear most is insight. So by taking time out to focus on yourself, which maybe is what this person in your life is doing right now, and maybe it's an opportunity for you to focus on yourself right now a little bit more. This is where we can gain really important insights and information, and come back to the union, come back to the pairing of whatever connection this might be, with new information and new insights. It's almost like having to fly the nest in order to come back with something, with food, with something nurturing to take us on to the next path. So there's something to be gained that feels very important, even though it might feel quite anxiety-inducing in the sense of some kind of separation or distance has occurred, group number 2. But by having this sort of separation, there's some important insights to gain for when you can return together and then move forward to a new place and have growth and expansion. And I'm also seeing this spider and this web here, so it's like building a web, but it's like building a life in a way. And again, the web like expanding, making it bigger, making it networking. The whole energy around this reading feels quite big, actually, quite big shifts happening, and a bit scary with that. So the level of expansion, but it feels like both your worlds have the opportunity here to open and creating more. If you can go with the flow with this group number 2, more opportunity will be presented to both of you in this union. I hope this reading resonated with you, group number 2. If it did, please do give this video a thumbs up. Leave any comments down below in the section down below, and subscribe for all future readings. But wishing you all the best with this circumstance and situation. Love and light. Hey group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with the card that you were initially drawn to, which represents the current situation of the person who is on your mind. And we have the Two of Wands. And what energies that I see surrounding them are that they are looking ahead and looking to the future, and are being faced with some kind of decision about what to do next, what road to take, what path. And I feel like they're really contemplating this seriously. So it could be that they've been presented with an opportunity. It could be something that you're aware of or not, but this is what's kind of behind this shift in energy for them. I just see them very focused on the future in some ways, but in the sense of about they know that this is a really potentially life-changing and important decision that they're being faced with. Now, what I do see is that they are not alone. So I see that this is your energy, that you are in their thoughts and in their mind as being in the future and being part of this road and part of this path. It feels like a natural just inclusivity. So for some of you, if there's any fear of feeling like you might be pushed out or left behind or not part of this decision, well, not actually part of the decision, but part of the outcome. They might not actually be including you in the decision. Maybe this is something that you can't influence, or something that they kind of want to get right in their own heads before they discuss it with you. So take what resonates with that, with your situation. If you feel like some of you might be talking about this and feel like they're just kind of, at the end of the day, they are going to kind of make it's something that I feel like that they need to make on their own. But they do see that future, and whichever decision they make, in a way, that path, that road, I feel like that they do see you there with them. Now, the second card, we have the Five of Pentacles, which is in the placement about what you can do to influence this situation, and how to deal with it, essentially, if their behaviour is kind of bothering you or causing some kind of pain or insecurities. Now, the Five of Pentacles is about feeling disappointed in some level, and that energy of lack, of not having enough. So maybe you do feel pushed out energetically by them at the moment because they're so focused on what they're doing. Now, with the Five of Pentacles, it's about, always with the fives, it's about the kind of pain and suffering that you're enduring is not going to cause long-lasting, deep wounds. It's more to see it as it is a passing phase, and our power and our impact that we can make on this is always to not to get stuck in these lack energies. So this is, we see what I'm drawn to as well, as we've got chrysalises here. So we've got 5 chrysalises. So it's almost that you are in that stage as well where you could be looking, now you can look at a chrysalis as just, well, it's not a butterfly yet. And it feels almost like it isn't anything important or valuable. But actually what it contains is very important, is very valuable, but you're in a waiting period. It's almost like the quiet before the storm, before the butterfly breaks free of the chrysalis, and that transformative period as well, before the butterfly breaks out the chrysalis. That very process is very important. So there feels like lessons to be learned about, maybe it could be an element of trust in your relationship, that this kind of loss and disappointment that you're feeling, you will get through it, and that maybe the issues don't run deep as you currently fear or think. Like, you may think the outcome's going to be, does not look good at the moment, and it actually it feels like it's not as bad as you may think or feel. And yeah, it's just about not really getting stuck in that lack, and trying to focus on what you still do have and what remains. That's the best advice at the moment, is to focus on what you still have and what is going well, and that's what will help you through the situation. Group number 3. Now, because interestingly, what you can't, the next card is in the placement what you can't do, and this is Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is much more action orientated. So like we see, this is more of a waiting energy, and inaction is the best action. That feels like the message. And the Page of Swords is, I feel like you can't force this situation. The Page of Swords as well can be is actually very decisive. So if you feel like your person is being indecisive, you're not going to be able to force them to make this decision any quicker. The Page of Swords as well is, it cuts to the truth always with the swords. So this is about being very direct with your language and very clear with communication. And I feel like that the cards are actually saying that at the moment this isn't possible. So maybe it's not possible for you at the minute, group number 3, to have the full picture, to have all the answers that you maybe desperately want or feel like that you want to know now. You want to have that really, sit down conversation and kind of get it all out on the table and really understand what's going on and what's going to happen. And I feel like that's just not possible at the moment. It doesn't mean that won't ever happen, but at the minute that's not going to happen. And the best thing to do, like I say, is to focus on what you have, what's in your control, and see this as like a transformative period for you both, for this connection, whatever it may be, the stage at this connection. But yeah, try to avoid kind of forcing the issue, and at the moment the full picture will not emerge, but you will get the full information later on. Now, in the placement, what is the lesson in this? And that's the Four of Swords. Again, this kind of being patient. The Four of Swords is about taking time out. It's about resting. It's about letting things be, leaving things alone in a way to organically work themselves out, and allowing this natural process to happen. I feel like this is the best outcome for this union, for this relationship, for everyone involved, really, is to organically allow it to happen. And again, that message coming up about not forcing the situation in any way. And to, in that meantime, whilst you are waiting, not fall into disappointment, despair, feelings of lack, but instead focus on what you've still got going for you, what you still remains, etc. And that things really, I do feel like that it's not as bad as you may fear at the moment, and that's the anxiety that's coming, that's kind of feel that need and desire to push the situation. So the Four of Swords again, so this is about, again, patience, rest, time out, allowing the situation to happen, and kind of knowing when to make a move and when not to. Because the outcome, the Knight of Swords, is this forward movement that you are hoping for. I feel like the change that you are longing for. The Wands, again, so we start with Wands, we end with Wands, and I feel like that this is your person who is going to pick up one of these wands, make a commitment, take that after this thought process that they've gone through. They will just trust it and know that they will pick up one of those wands, and then they will make direct action. And this is them in a different kind of energy, as in that they are inspired, they have certainty. I feel like that they are going to give you the information that you want, really, the clarity that you need, and that in a way, this kind of mysterious energy or waiting period will be long forgotten as their energy shifts into this. The Knight of Swords is all about action, and the Knight of Swords is the opposite of the indecision, in the sense that they're very decisive energy, ruled by fire. A Knight of Wands gets projects going, gets movement, gets things up and running, and just commits to something and goes. So you will get the forward movement, group number 3, that you were looking for in this person. You'll get the information that you are currently missing. And really, it's for you at this time, let's say, it's just to focus on not trying to force the issue, and take some time out, focus on yourself, rest, try not to burn up too much energy through anxious thoughts and feeling and worry, really. But I hope this reading resonated for you, group number 3. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up for this video. Leave any comments in the section down below, and subscribe for all future readings. But wishing you all the best with this situation and your person. Love and light.